Well, we have another guest today. I wanted to get the perspective from a parent who has a student in college playing football. We have Mr. Dave Zeller here, and his son played at Del Norte. Dave Zeller, welcome, man.
All right. Thanks, Ro.
Okay.
Good to be here.
Right on, my man. Well, your son, Patrick, played at Del Norte. He was a leading rusher and receiver at Del Norte.
He was the first 1,000-yard rusher at Del Norte, and he played varsity all 4 years. And so he kind of started out with that program and helped grow it to a more competitive program by the time he left.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he gets to TCU, and you guys take him out there, and the first day, explain that experience.
Well, Patrick, it was a really interesting trip because Patrick had made trips mainly to Ivy League schools. He had guys were talking earlier about camps. One of the reasons Harvard was after him is he went out and tore up a Harvard camp, and so he got on their radar, and away they went.
Right.
And Yale, because Yale heard about him at Harvard, Yale came after him, and then we started getting phone calls and letters from 3 or 4 other Ivy Leagues. I guess they just go track everybody that's being recruited there. So he had mainly been looking at Ivy Leagues and 1AAs, and when he had the opportunity to go make the visit to TCU, I remember we got in there really late that night, and we just drove right to the school. We'd never seen it, never been in Fort Worth. We drove right to the stadium, and we were lucky the gates were open, so we went in, and he went down and stood on the field and just looked around, and about 30 seconds later he says, I'm coming here.
Wow.
He said, this is what I've dreamed about my whole life. I want to play here, and he was set, and all that. Yeah. All those other trips and everything got wiped out.
So as a parent, can you explain his schedule? Like he's there, but now you're a parent, and what's his schedule like?
Well, that's probably, I think, the parents that haven't had a D1 athlete don't know that you don't see your son anymore. Basically, what happens is they start in June in summer school, where they do conditioning and they work with just players working with players, and so the first session of summer school happens, and then in July they do even more detailed work on the field and more lifting, and then August they're there and they're 2-a-days, and basically they start at 6 in the morning and they're done at 9 o'clock at night.
Wow.
And so they're in either film or on the field or working with their positions, and then the season starts, which I think is probably the easiest part on football players, but you don't see your son during the season either. So I think the thing that really hit us is during Patrick's first year, he was a redshirt freshman, which meant he wasn't playing, but he did go to the bowl game. So we didn't see Patrick for Thanksgiving. He was flying to Atlanta to go to the Peach Bowl on Christmas Day. He wasn't home for New Year's Eve or New Year's Day. We finally got to see him about January 11th when he got about 7 days off there. So I think overall you get about 7 or 8 days at when school ends before the June session starts. So overall I think they get about 12, 15 days off a year. So otherwise he lives in Fort Worth.
Wow.
Good thing he loves it, because he lives there.
Yeah. So when he comes home, you guys, hey, honey, there's a guy in the kitchen.
It is strange when he's home.
Eating the carrot cake.
Yeah, eating the carrot cake.
Yeah, gotta be honest. After you have, we've actually had 2 football players live at the house.
That's right.
Another kid we took in for a while.
That's right.
Who was a pretty big kid, but what you really notice when football players go away is how much your grocery bill drops. My wife and I, we were laughing so hard. Our bill dropped by about, we're paying about 1/5 of what we did. I mean, they're just constantly eating. Now that someone else is feeding them, it's great, because they do feed football players now, and so that's the biggest thing we noticed. And people warn you you're gonna be sad and lonely when you have an empty nest, and I don't know who those people are. It's fun to visit and go down to Fort Worth and watch games and see them, but it's nice to have our life and going. So, and he's a happy kid, so that's just the only thing that makes us happy.
Exactly. So now being a redshirt freshman now, but he's still involved greatly in the team's success because I think he was like scout team player of the week of like 3 times.
3 times, yeah. I think that's a great thing that Division I schools have is that if you are a redshirt or you're not on the traveling team, you're still a part of either a first team or second team scout player, and you play as an offensive scout player. You play against the first team defense every day, and for Patrick, that means he played against Dawson, who's with the Bengals now. Every day was the outside linebacker on his side as a slot receiver. The safety is playing for the Falcons now.
Wow!
And so every day he was playing against those guys, and so his experience was wonderful. He went out and competed every day hard against those guys. He did win. He did win 3 awards as Scout Player of the Week. He had some great moments and stayed healthy. So it was a tremendous experience, and felt really like he contributed because he got the team ready every week.
So initially, what people don't understand is being on a scout team, like you said, you're playing against the first team. So you're actually improving your skills because you're playing against what the coaches feel are the top guys, that these are the guys that we're going into our games with, and that's that a lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people don't understand that being a scout team, you're actually getting better.
I think he improved more in his freshman year than he improved in the last 3 years in high school. He matured physically. I think the type of coaching he got was just unbelievable. And then you play against that competition. I always look forward to when the phone rang because he would only call me when something good happened. He'd call me and say, "Hey, I just caught a 99-yard touchdown against the first team defense," and the whole team went wild because he did a double move and he duped the safety and one thing that he loves about college is, it doesn't matter whether it's the second string or fifth string quarterback, they can throw the ball 7 times anytime they want. And so if you're open, they drop it on you. And so he loved that. So I did get phone calls about, hey, I scored 2 touchdowns against the team today. I got a phone call, Coach Patterson grabbed me and I'm playing Oklahoma, and he wanted me to play defensive end so our tackles could get used to really fast guys going off the edge on them. So Patrick really enjoyed running around, 360-pound tackles to get them ready to play against super athletic players. So he's had the experience of being moved wherever they need things, and I think it makes him feel like a real big contributor. So, and he's very excited. He got his first plays this year. Got in about 10 plays so far this year. Very, very. I think people probably don't understand that there's 105 players out there.
Right.
The kids that play are really working hard.
Right.
There is a lot of talented kids that are waiting to play.
He's made the travel roster, right?
Well, he has, and he as of yesterday, he did not travel. But the guy that's first string at his position broke his collarbone, unfortunately, and so as of right now, he is on the travel team. That's why you gotta always be ready. I think you see that things happen. And not just injuries. It can be school. It can be disciplinary. Kids just leave school. I mean, Patrick's seen kids that you guys were talking about how freshmen sometimes leave. TCU had 2 of those happen.
Yeah.
One was a starter that just left right after the first game he played. And it's not that unusual. Kids get homesick. Kids don't like what they're doing, and
The first year's a tough one.
first year's a tough one. So you just got to always be ready. And actually, Patrick won an award this year for when he got his first game in. He went out and he pancaked a corner on his first play.
Wow.
So when he went to his locker the next day, Coach Patterson had put a T-shirt in his locker which basically says you were ready when called upon, and you executed with excellence. And so he was really proud. That started in 2008. He didn't know anything about it, but he got that and made him really proud. And so again, no matter if you're the 105th guy or Trevon Boyd, you make a contribution to that team out there, and the coaches keep you wired in really well so that you're ready to go.
So now, he's catching passes from a Heisman Trophy candidate, and on the number 2 team in the nation, out there running Doug Meacham's wild offense.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, how's that feel when you wake up and your son's the number 2 team in the nation?
Well, Coach, when he went in there, he went to a 4-8 club. Right. So we were totally unprepared for what happened last year. I mean, we went from going to a school that was 4-8 to going to a team that finished 3rd, and it was an incredible experience. He came home with his big ring for winning the Big 12 and winning the Peach Bowl, and just been an amazing ride. I think
Okay.
it's just been, been blessed in every way that you could think. It's been wonderful.
Oh man, awesome. So that's Dave Zeller. His son Patrick plays for TCU. I want to thank our players of the week, Lucas Johnson and Rashid Shaheed from Mount Carmel, and Ravion Elise Atkinson, our cheerleader from Grambling State University and Morris High School. This has been the Coach Rose Show with Iggy and Armand Harvey, KBLKradio.com.
All right.
See you next
See
week.
ya.